Now we are moving forward. The project objectives. Yes, this is the second thing in our scheme for the week. Now, what is the project objective? It's as simple as it's stated. The project objectives are the specific measurable goals that the project is intended to achieve. They guide decision making, track progress, and ensure alignment with broader business goals. Now, what a typical objective might include? Yes, what can a typical project objective include? We have number one, delivering a working solution within a set time frame and budget. Number two, improving a business process or user experience. Number three, enhancing system performance or security. We have number four, meeting compliance or regulatory requirements. Number five, smart criteria, which is specific, which can be broken down into specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, which are often used to defining clear objective. Now, it's a acronym, actually, a popular acronym within the project management space. So whatever you're doing must be specific, must be measurable, must be achievable. So you don't set objectives that are not achievable within a time frame or within a given budget. It must be relevant. So yes, relevance. So that what you are doing adds relevance. You cannot just go on doing things and say, okay, I'm achieving something, but your achievement is not adding any sort of relevance to the project. It should be time bound. Yes. In everything, they will tell you time is money. So the faster you run and complete a project, the better for you in terms of financial, personnel management, and every aspect actually. So he said the SMART criteria is often used for defining clear objective. Now move to project deliverables. So what are deliverables? So these are tangible or intangible outputs produced as a result of a project execution. They are provided to stakeholders at various stages or at the conclusion of the project. Examples include functional software or systems, reports or documentation, e.g., user manual/training guides, design or prototypes, test plan and results, final project presentation. Now, as a project manager, I would like to advise or say that a deliverable should come in at your initiation stage of the process when you have your meeting with your stakeholders. Because it's better to state now what you can achieve and not leave blank and open expectation. Now, just like I listed here, they said design or prototype. That's the one I'll use. And that one concerns construction again. Sorry. Now, as an architect, before probably you are bidding for a job and the client describes to you what he wants. Say he wants a duplex, a two-story building duplex with 4 parlors, a cinema, a spa, a studio, whatever he lists or says he wants. Now, as an architect, you go on and create a design. Now, a client can open up that bid into several. In construction, there's what's called a tender document. Now, a tender document, I think I've mentioned it in our week 1 class. It is opened up. Several architects or several construction people, personnel come in and bid for a particular job. The client can open up it to 2 or 3 or more architects. And yeah, of course, you are being paid to create a prototype. Not like you are doing it technically for free, but you are bidding for the greater aspect of when you get approved, when your plan gets approved, it is used and you are being paid officially for the plan. Now, you as an architect, you create a design and you create a prototype, a functional prototype that allows the client see what you've drawn. Most clients don't see drawing, they don't understand it, just paper. But when you create a prototype, they are able to visualize themselves using that prototype. So now, as a project manager, you create a prototype of your end. Say you had to develop an app. Now, I don't know how it works technically to an extent, but I know you could create a working prototype of how you want a particular app to work and function. Now, when you do that, you've opened up your stakeholders' mind so that if they want any adjustments or have any question, it will be achieved now before you move forward with the project scope, so that you will be able to include it in your project scope to avoid project creep coming up later on. So you have to do this in your deliverables, and I advise in the initiation stage. So they say text, plan, and results. Yes, you do tests, you conduct. I've seen recently people doing a lot of Google Doc questionnaires. I've seen a friend who was going to create an app for a company, and he has sent out several questionnaires at every stage of the app creation. He's just simply doing a test to us, who are the expected end users, to know, to channel it with the stakeholders' requirement and with the end users' requirement. Because if you remember initially when we did week 1 teaching, I said the people involved directly and indirectly in the project is the stakeholder, you, the project manager, and the end users who are supposed to benefit. So your stakeholders is not your only consideration. So that's where this test and results come in. You test with other people, you test with your end users, you test with people who are supposed to be the benefactors of this app usage, so on and so forth. The final project presentation, which will be done before a project is most likely approved. Now we'll move forward. Okay, I think we are done with project scope, objective, and deliverable. So they are actually just not too broad things. They are just things which are stated. Actually, you could also read more upon it, and if you have any question, as usual, feel free to ask. Now, I shall be moving forward to the work breakdown structure. Now, introduction to the work breakdown structure. Now, I give a short introduction. So, projects are made up of hundreds, sometimes thousands of tasks. It is overwhelming, even for an experienced project manager to keep everything straight. A step is missed, deliverables are delayed, and a scramble ensues. It happens all the time, and that is why the work breakdown structure exists, to untangle knots that cause project confusion. It is a document that breaks down project scope, improve time estimation, and provide more control over project execution. It is a visual aid that is used in the early stage of a project to expose the detail of a project's work. It helps even the most complicated undertaking feel possible. For example, a housing construction, forgive me for using this, can be divided into foundation, internal, and external development. Now, the internal work can be electrical and plumbing, while external can be roofing and finishing, and probably rendering, painting, so on and so forth. So the work breakdown structure, in essence, is a hierarchical decomposition of a project into smaller, more manageable components. It breaks down the overall project scope into deliverables, sub-deliverables, and ultimately individual tasks. This visual and deliverable-oriented approach helps project managers plan, organize, and track progress effectively. Now, this is actually a very simple, and I don't know, probably because I've talked about it a lot, but it is just self-explanatory. It is just a document that gives you a breakdown. Now, I don't know if anybody is in the construction field or a student of any construction, maybe architecture, civil, building, anything in construction related. Now, that's what I study, so I always make reference to it. Now, it is beautiful because there are documents like this. There's what we call a work schedule. As a civil engineer, as a site manager, you have a work schedule which you use to assign roles and duties to your site workers at every given day. Now, you might totally not be the one assigning. Maybe it might come from the architect's designation that, okay, this scope of work should be handled by this artisan. Now, as a project manager, so I've said it before, your work is more of a supervisory role because you cannot do everything. Say you are a project manager in a construction firm, you cannot be the one laying the block, cannot be the one tiling that, cannot be the one. But it is of necessity that you have adequate information about all these skills, because you are going to be supervising people who are doing and performing all the skills in the site. So these are included in your work breakdown structure. It just helps you reduces the tasks as bare minimum to what every single individual involved in your project is actually supposed to do. Now we'll move forward to key aspects of the work breakdown structure. Number 1, the hierarchical structure. The WBS, the work breakdown structure, is structured as a tree, starting with the project at the top, branching down increasingly detailed level of work. Now, as a project manager, I'll come back to this. A client can come and say he wants you to develop let's say a bank reaches out to you. For this case, let's say Fidelity Banks reach out to you and say they want you to develop a mobile app. They already do, but we're just using for instance, yeah. And they gave you the specification of what they want in their app. That when you open it, you see welcome, your name, welcome, Mr. Balogun, and stuff like that. How they want the app to be navigated. Now, as a project manager, you cannot. I would not assume you're a front-end designer, you're a back-end designer, you're a cybersecurity, you're a coder. Because now, I don't know if any of you know, because I do have friends, and app creation involves a lot of people. Just like the people I mentioned, you need a front-end, a back-end, a cybersecurity for the... I don't really know what they do, but I shall know you need these people. Now, it branches the work. As a project manager, you can't bring all these people to your client. You can't start bringing a graphic designer to come and see your client, a coder to come and see your client, a front-end designer to come and see. No, it is your work as a project manager to go back, have a conversation with your team, create a prototype, get to know about the best that you could. You are the one dealing with your stakeholders directly, not your team members, not your graphic designer asking your client, do you like the design or not? That is your own duty. That's what I'm saying. You need to have a general idea of every roles being played in a project. Now, you cannot necessarily know everything as a person, but you do research. Say you are contacted to do this app creation. It is of importance that you go back and start researching what is inclusive in app creation. What do I need to know? What should I not mix? Because if anything bounce off, nobody knows your team member. You are the only one. You are the face of the project. You are the one being seen. So this hierarchical structure helps you break down your work into detailed level of work that you know that this graphic design is being done by my graphic designer. The navigation is being done by my front end. The back, say you create people who know how to do data analysis. You put up a live sheet. You know that to get the result of the live sheet, you have to reach out to your back end developer to do that for you. So it helps you break down your work into detailed level of works. Now, number 2, we have the deliverable oriented. So the work breakdown structure focuses on the tangible output. Tangible. The word here is tangible, not an output. You can be doing things and it is not tangible or reasonable to the project. So the tangible output of the project rather than just the activities. I haven't wrote it yourself. So you can just be doing things and it is not really being effective to the project. So you have to do things that are tangibly effective to the project. Number 3, we have the scope definition. It's a work breakdown structure clearly defines the project scope by breaking down all the work required to complete it. Yes. Now, so if you know that you're going to involve, a back end, a front end, a graphic designer, a coder, what are these other people? I'm trying to remember, a website developer, what else? A data analyst, sorry. So maybe help you run analysis of what is needed, a data scientist and stuff like that. That way, you know the scope and what they are all doing in the job. So you do not have project creep. You do not have project encroachment that 2 different people are having the same scope of work in a project. It helps you avoid things like this. Then we have number 4, the manageable components. Yes, the work breakdown structure divides the project into manageable tasks that are easier to estimate, schedule, and control. Yes, when you have your tasks broken down to you, you know that, from the web developer side, this is the only thing I'm getting. This is the only thing it's doing. This is what it is costing. So I have an estimate from his angle, and I do it for every single task. I add my miscellaneous, I add my overhead profits, and that's fine. It's very easier to do a budget. Now, next, what are the benefits of using a work breakdown structure? Now, I wrote here that the benefit of using a work breakdown structure includes, and are not limited to, number 1, improved clarity. It ensures all tasks are well defined and understood by the project team. Number 2, it enhanced resource allocation. Now, facilitates efficient allocation of resources by identifying the specific skills, personnel, and material needed for each task, just like I stated earlier. Number 3, better budgeting and cost estimation. It enables accurate financial planning by associating costs with specific work packages. just like I stated earlier. Number 4, it reduces scope creep. We said it earlier, it helps prevent unnecessary change to the project scope. Number 5, we have increased accountability. It assigns specific responsibility to a team members, promoting ownership and accountability. That way, you know that the web developer is responsible for anything that has to do with web development. The graphic designer is responsible for anything that has to do with graphic design, and so on and so forth. Then effective progress tracking. It allows for monitoring of progress against defined deliverables. We have the risk mitigation and identification. It helps identify potential risks from every stage. I forgot that, from every stage early in the project lifecycle. Now, in essence, a work breakdown structure provides a clear roadmap for project execution, enabling better planning, management, and control throughout the project lifecycle. Now, the project planning and scheduling, yes. Now, this is a part of a project which relates to the use of schedule to plan the subsequent report's progress within a project environment. Project planning can be done manually or by the use of project management software. Initially, the project scope is defined and the appropriate method for completing the project are determined. Project planning. Okay, number 1, defining goals and objectives, clearly outlining what the project aims to achieve, determining the scope, defining the boundaries of the project, including what is included and excluded, identifying tasks and activities, developing a work breakdown structure, estimating resources, identifying risks and developing mitigation strategies, and creating a communication plan. Now, we move forward to project scheduling. What is project scheduling? Project scheduling involves sequencing tasks, establishing dependencies, estimating task duration, creating a timeline, and assigning resources to tasks, monitoring and controlling the schedule. These are just listed out what it actually does. Now, you say the key difference between a project planning and project scheduling is this one: it's focus. So planning focus on what needs to be done, while scheduling focus on when and how it will be done. Number 2, we have the outputs. Say planning results in a project plan document, while scheduling results in project schedule. Then we have number 3, the scope. So planning defines the overall scope and objective, while scheduling focuses on the detailed timeline and resource allocation. Now, what are the benefits of the project planning and scheduling? Now, the project planning and scheduling: 1, improve project control; 2, reduces risk; 3, increase efficiency; 4, it helps for better communication; and lastly, it improves project outcome. So I think that will be the end of our class for today. Thank you very much and have a wonderful week. Thank you.